check it out. Welcome back, guys. So I'm extremely excited today. I'm just shooting this video in my driveway. I just got done putting 10 hours straight of work into the new screen mount. Now, I'm specifically choosing not to show you the mount directly because I'm going to do some research on, I don't know about patenting it, but in some way protecting it. So, but what I can show you is the way the screen functions. Now, for the purposes of just this video and this prototype, I've got two Allen screws that are accessed with this simple Allen wrench in the back of the screen, and that loosens the screen and allows it to move. The mount is two parts, and so you can see in this position it looks pretty much the same as the previous mount that I made, and it is. However, simply loosening those couple of screws, the screen swings and angles. And now I purposely made it so that it has to swing, to sweep to the side along with angling, primarily because if I made it pivot, there's no way to make it pivot at the screen. The pivot would be back. What that does is, if you just pivot the screen, this edge of the screen moves in that direction as it pivots back. So it would move over and behind. And when you're sitting in the car, any of you guys that currently own a Model 3 know what I mean by this. When you sit in the car, your knuckles, the steering wheel blocks just the tiniest edge of the screen, but your knuckles really block quite a bit of the screen. So if I angled it over, suddenly my knuckles would be blocking most of, I would say, probably that wide. Not quite the whole driving area, but close to it and right in the center. So what I opted to do was to make the screen sweep to the side as it angled. So again, it sweeps and angles, and then at the end of its travel, you can pull it a little bit further yet. So, and I found that where my knuckles are on the sight on the screen, when I move it to the side, that sweep keeps the side edge of the screen at the same point of my hand. Now, I did a lot of experimentation on various angles. The mount is in the dash of the car at a very specific angle, and the screen at the factory position. My daughter leaving in her little smart electric car. Bye. That angle in the that the mount goes into the dash is at a different angle. Basically there's three different angles I have to deal with here. The angle that the mount are in the screen, the angle that the screen is at, and another angle. The plate that goes in, that I have going into the dash, that downward angle it's relatively steep. I can't just make the screen pivot at that angle, because what happens is, as you swing it to the left, the right corner goes up. So you end up with this leaning effect. So what I had to do was cancel out that downward angle down to horizontal, and then make the screen mount fasten to that and machine an angle in the bottom of that mount in order to get the screen at the right lean angle. Now, I'm currently experimenting with things. If you remember, I had mentioned that I had the screen at a 10-degree rearward tilt, and I was going to go down to 8 degrees. This is 7 degrees, and I'm really liking it a lot. So basically, the screen, there's two screws behind it. So let me snug these two down here. So snugging those two screws down, it's just as sturdy as the factory mount. And there's the screen in the position of the first prototype mount that I made. It is left-right symmetrical with the dash. So all I need to do is simply go behind the screen, give a quarter turn to each screw, and then I can adjust the screen to whatever position I want, and go ahead and snug the screws down. Ooh. So there we go. And now the screen is tipped toward me slightly. And it's interesting. I actually prefer the screen flat, but I do know that that there will be some users that would prefer it tilted. Now that's just at a couple degree tilt, but again, I did plan for this, and there's a lot more tilt angle available. So, and again, this is a prototype mount. I can do whatever I want for the production version, but so there's the maximum tilt, the maximum angle. Let me show you one more time. It swings to the side and pulls out. So again, it's that swing. I think most people would use about that much angle, but you can pull it even further. And I'm still finalizing just a few angles, but the design itself has been finalized. I've submitted everything to the machinist, and we're good to go there. So anyway, this mount kit, I've settled on $275 for the complete aluminum mount kit, all hardware needed, a leather coverage sock for behind it that will completely cover all of the hardware. There'll be instructions, it'll be professionally packaged and ready to go, a very high quality, professional grade kit that you can install, I would say, no more than 15 minutes of time that it takes to install. So, and there will not be two different mounts, a flat mount and an angled mount. I'll be selling just one kit that, again, will go flat or angled. So let me put it back to the flat position again. I settled on 1.8 inches of screen drop. If you remember, I told you before I had 2.5. I think that was a little bit far. What I want to do is minimize any potential issues of anyone bonking their knee on it. And and it would be easy to space it down further. I can offer spacers if you guys would like to step it down further. But 1.8 inches of drop. It's the factory distance away from the dash. It's about actually 5 millimeters, or a little less than 1/4 of an inch further away from the dash. And that was done partly because I found that it's easier to reach the screen, and for tilting purposes that was helpful, but it's essentially the same distance away. And again, we're looking at, as it sits now, about 7 degrees steeper lean from where it was, or further lean from where it was when it was in the factory position. We're at about 7 degrees lean back. So it will be $275 for the kit. Again, everything combined. I will put my email as a link in the description below. If you'd like to order one, what I'll do is take a $50 deposit. I'm guessing it's going to be about 2 months to get the first kits in hand. The reason for that that duration of time is all the information's been submitted to the machinist. He has to make fixtures, do all the programming, and he has to make a prototype, get it to me. He's just several hours away. I will probably drive down there at some point, but he's several hours away from me. So he'll have to ship me a prototype that I can assemble, put in the car, make any final changes, and then officially submit the order. Then he has to manufacture all of them. So we're looking at, I would say, about 2 months from now to get them in hand. My email will be a link in the description below. Go ahead and shoot me an email, and you can PayPal $50 to me. Just that email address is my PayPal address. So you can click save the link from my email address, go to PayPal, and PayPal me $50 with the note that you're ordering the screen mount. And as production moves forward, if there's any changes or anything, I'll let you guys know. Once I speak with an attorney about if this is a protectable design or not, then I'll show you guys exactly how it works once we get to that point. Also, should be another week and a half or so, and I'll have my steering wheel done. You guys can see that. I'm not really marketing that custom steering wheel. It's just something for myself, but figured you guys would get a kick out of seeing it. So anyway, let me know. Oh, also let me know your thoughts on the specific height. Again, it's not quite as high as it was before, and it's not leaned back as far. I kind of toned it down a little bit, and but I think this is the best compromise look for everybody involved. So I've been listening to all the comments, and I'm trying to do the best I can to offer what all you guys want. One other thing here, the cell phone, dock door does still open and close. It clears the back of the screen by about an inch or so. So you can still fit your finger up there to get to it and close it. So no interference is there at all. Anyway, oh, one last thing that I want to point out before I go. Since the screen is lower and at a more shallow angle, there's less sunlight that hits it. It used to be, now I haven't measured the exact temperature, but it used to be I would touch the screen and just about burn my hand on it. It got so hot. Now at this different position, I've noticed for the last week or so using my other mount, the screen is noticeably a lot cooler. Go ahead and click on my email address and PayPal me $50 if you want a mount kit. They'll probably be made in batches of 50. So it's a first come, first serve thing. Thanks a lot, guys. Have a great day. Bye-bye now.